All right. Welcome to the Way to a Great Marriage cast. I'm Tony. This is LaRonda.
Hello.
LaRonda has picked out one of her mother, Miss Omi's songs to sing, and so this is dedicated to Omi.
This is called forgiveness. The forgiveness has come. Oh, I've been forgiven. Jesus came in and made me whole. Now I have sweet peace and love beyond measure. I can forgive 'cause he's in control. The tempter tries to steal and to kill, but oh, I have God's everlasting seal. I have His sweet spirit now living inside me. I can forgive, for He forgave me. Sometimes we feel trouble within us. Our burdens are heavy. We think there's no end. Well, God's always there, our burden to share. He'll carry our load when it's too hard to bear. Sorry about that, y'all. Choked. There's only one way to get into heaven. Let Jesus come in, He'll free you from sin. When the enemy comes, oh, will you be ready? Jesus is there and He will defend. Forgiveness has come, oh, I've been forgiven. Jesus reached down and He handed to me His precious love right down from heaven. I can forgive 'cause He forgave me. She kind of rewrote on the other side too. Uh, I can forgive. I'm so glad He forgive. I'm so glad that He forgives me. But anyway, it's Mom's song. I tried to sing it, and then she typed it on the front. So that was written February the 10th, 1999. That's an oldie.
She typed it.
Or probably me. It looks like my typing, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I typed up like 190 of Mom's songs like this.
Oh, really?
And see, she had actually written it, and I typed it on the same paper she wrote it on.
That would be hard to do.
Yeah, well, I just turned it over and typed it. Well, like this, it was one of them old-fashioned typewriters, you know. One of them electric ones.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yep.
You hit a key and it went a whole line of X's.
Yep.
Okay, so, oh, this is your phone.
That's my phone. Yours is over there.
So tonight, the Symbios assessment that I'm qualified to do, Les and Leslie Parrott have an article back in August of the 28th. The title of the article is "My Spouse Lied About Debt Before We Got Married. Now What?"
Oh boy. I don't know anybody anything. $100,000 later.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, you're gonna pay it off
Yeah, exactly.
out of your money.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see what they say. I'm sure that's not what they say.
Probably not.
Did your spouse lie about the debt they were bringing into your marriage? Secret debt is a common, unfortunate scenario for couples. I mean, because it's probably an addiction's behind it.
Exactly.
Shopping addiction or something like that. And it's understandable why you might be angry. After all, your spouse withheld information that impacted you financially. There is still hope if you're facing the difficult situation of uncovering a debt deception. You certainly have a challenge to overcome. The good news is that it's possible to solve the problem while rebuilding trust. Why did your spouse hide their debt? Well, people hide their debt for many different reasons.
Right.
One of the most straightforward answers is that people tend to associate debt with shame. It's difficult for some people to take ownership of the choices that led them into debt, and that's even more challenging to admit to the person you love that they'll be taking on your past financial burdens. You might want to understand better why your spouse didn't disclose their debt. Maybe they were struggling with shame. Regardless, it's important to textualize the situation so you can get any support you may need, such as counseling. I don't know. Maybe they could get a second job and
Pay it off.
pay it off real quick.
Yeah.
Do the freedom and peace plan, and so the spouse that had the debt get a second job and pay it off.
I think it's a good idea.
But get your feelings out of there. Next, it's important not to hide your feelings about this debt. Learning something like this is complex, and the new knowledge changes your perception of your spouse. Not only are you taking in the shock of the discovery, but you're also likely questioning their trustworthiness in other areas. It may feel as though your spouse tricked you. This debt affects your future now too. So it's crucial to be honest with yourself and your spouse about your feelings and get them out. There's no use pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It's perfectly okay to be angry and to express the angry constructively. If you suppress your feelings, you'll eventually come out possibly in an unfavorable way. Negative emotions have a high resurrection rate. So getting them out in the open is best. A licensed counselor can help you navigate through expressing your feelings. You'll need to talk this situation through with your spouse. The conversation doesn't need to go on endlessly, but it may take some time to express. Find a way to move forward. Finally, it's essential to find a way to move forward together. Your spouse can't change their past decisions. Instead, you must invest in the future and work together to reestablish trust. This is all about rebuilding a partnership you can count on. It will be important to set a mutual accountability and create a plan for debt repayment. Get financial consulting to help the two of you build the plan, like the Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace Partners. In fact, I've got a video on the podcast about finances. You can go to that might help you as well.
Yeah, you did that one quite a long time ago.
It's been over a year ago.
It's been over a year.
So you may have
go
to
back.
Scroll back.
Yeah.
A little ways to find it.
But it says finance on it. So
Yes,
so
finance.
you can look for finance.
A professional consultant can help you build a smart strategy to face the overwhelming one step at a time while repairing. And so maybe I could give you the Cliff Notes version, like I do most people. Is you definitely need to create a budget, because probably the person who has the debt had trouble with budgeting.
Right.
And that's probably another episode is, should you, is there a problem with having separate monies?
Somebody says no.
Like my mother, whenever she got her inheritance, and then my grandmother, when she got her inheritance,
Right.
they put that money and separated it from the family's account,
So they could use it whenever they wanted
so
to.
they could buy furniture with it,
Or if they want a new dress
or whatever they wanted,
Yeah.
and then they wouldn't have to ask their spouse.
Right.
Now, some people have trouble with that.
Yeah.
But if you are like-minded, then you can also, as far as the credit score is concerned, there is your debt and her debt, and maybe mutual debt. Depends upon how that you applied for the debt. If you apply for a credit
Right.
card by yourself, then that's your debt.
Right.
If you apply for it mutually, then that's your all's debt.
But no, we don't have any debt on credit cards.
Oh, I know.
Not even a
but,
dime.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, and so there might be a podcast on that, because it sounds like they're taking the position that once you get married, you're taking the responsibility for the other person's debt.
Right.
I mean, I've gone through marriages where the debt just floated through. It was their debt, and it stayed
And it
their
stayed
debt,
with them.
and it stayed with them when they left. But especially school, school loans.
But I don't think we other than our homes, we didn't have any debt.
No, we don't.
When we
Well,
met.
I had a little.
Just a
I
little.
had a little bit of debt. I only owed on this house, and I
Yeah.
paid that off.
Yeah. And
That
me and you
October,
together,
wasn't it?
yeah. So
About
we
that
did that
October.
together. And
so,
and I tell you what, he has really helped me with is we've joked about it. We've said it on here before, but we set a certain amount, and he said, "LaRonda, I don't care as long as you don't go over this amount. And if it needs to be, just talk to me about it."
But the four
You know.
walls of finance are, first of all, is your house.
Right.
Your mortgage payment. Hey, Elaine.
Hey.
Your mortgage payment, your your water, electric,
Yes.
Taxes,
Insurance, car insurance.
all of your housing is budgeted first. That's
Yeah,
the
that
first,
comes first.
That's you pay that first.
Absolutely.
Then you pay secondly auto.
Right.
You need a car to get to work, and so you need a home to be able to get a job.
Right.
And so you need an automobile to get to work, so you pay your auto stuff second. I really encourage people not to get a auto loan, to actually save up and pay cash for a car.
But if they needed one to drive back and forth to work.
Well, we
Now,
talk about that on
Yeah,
the other side.
exactly.
Is that's what your emergency fund is for.
Right.
Is you need to be working on the first baby step in Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace Partners is to save you need $1,000, because this was, back
Years and
in,
years.
in 2015.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like $1,500 now.
Probably.
You need $1,500 in a savings account immediately.
Somewhere.
For-
But what
for
if they?
an emergency.
But Tony, no joke. I've been asked this for people who do not. What if they don't have it? What if they live really tight right now, check to check? What do they do?
Well, he says, have a yard sale, sell things. Get both of you get 2 jobs. Whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do to get that emergency fund immediately. That's the first baby step.
Right.
Is, because if you do have a car and it breaks down, you're
Up the creek.
You're homeless.
You are. Yeah.
I see so many people living paycheck to paycheck, and basically, if you have something like that happen,
You're in trouble.
we had friends that
Yeah.
It was their brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't afford a brake job.
Couldn't even.
You don't realize that a couple of $100 could make you homeless.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and unable to eat.
To work or eat.
And
Yeah.
so you pay your car bills.
Yeah.
If you do have a car payment, your insurance and your gas. And that sort of thing is the next line item, budgets. And you can go back through last month's check register or credit card receipts, and you should be able to see how much you spent last month and base
On just whatever.
this month on last month's bills.
Exactly.
Now you want to watch, and if any of these items are more than 25% of your income, then you need to tighten up your belt and to reduce that. If you've got $100,000 vehicle and you're making $1,000 a month.
Oh boy.
And it's all going to
your vehicle.
To your vehicle. Sell that vehicle
Yes.
immediately.
I used to have new vehicles, and I do not care anything about having a new vehicle. I like to have a vehicle that is safe and I feel secure in. But no, like our vehicle, like one of our vehicles is our Yukon, and it's a 2012. It's old,
I
but
thought it was 17.
no, it's a 12. The dad's car is 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so, but I love it because I can haul things in it. I could go get the girls at sober living home in it. I can do things in it. But back when I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I wanted a new car. I didn't want to use one.
But
I don't care
but,
now.
you can get you a car to get you back and forth to work in the
Yes.
meantime
Yes,
for
you
this
could.
$1,500.
Yes, you
you know,
could.
I've got one sitting out there that I bought for Tim for $800 to show him that he didn't need a new Kia. He wanted me to come and co-sign a loan for him to buy a new Kia. So we don't do that. As boss, we don't borrow money to buy a car. We pay cash for cars. But then the next line item is food. You're going to have to eat to be able to feel like working. So food is the next line item in your budget. That's your third wall. The fourth wall is everything else. Your prescription medication, your cell phone, your cable bill. That's where everybody gets in trouble.
It is.
Is they have a $150 cell phone bill. They have a $150
Cable bill.
Cable
It's terrible,
bill.
yeah.
Well, or Netflix bill, or whatever. Some subscription.
We have Pure
all
Flix.
their subscriptions
$4.99.
combined. All of their subscriptions combined come up to
$150.
probably $150 now.
Ours don't that. No.
But because they have every subscription known to man, in case something comes out, then they can watch
Exactly.
it. But there's Roku TV that's free.
That's what we have.
And
I pay for Pure Flix because I love it. I think it's
we
$5.99.
have our things.
Yeah.
I pay for Tucker Carlson to watch his
But it's
stuff.
not $150 a month.
Yeah. Now I don't know if I remember Prager or not, am I?
Yeah.
But your life insurance will come out of that. You'll want life insurance and that sort of thing. The second baby step is to snowball your debt, and that's where we're getting at. Is each month whatever you have left over needs to be put into a savings account, and you cannot touch it that month. You live on what
you got left.
What you have each month. You don't draw from another month to pay your bills for this month. You don't that savings is there for a reason. God gave you extra money in 1 month for a reason, so you put it in a savings account. And then you build up that savings account to be able to
pay our taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah,
that's what ours goes to.
For birthdays and Christmas,
anniversaries.
And you set a good budget for that. For that, $75 or $100 a piece. Don't go hog wild and spend $3,000 for Christmas on the family.
No.
That's ridiculous.
No. I started buying pajamas for $3.
I knew Sissy said that there was this family that told everybody that if you bought anything for the kids, if you chose to buy them something rather than give them money for their college fund, it would be donated to Goodwill.
Oh no!
And they would take pictures of them donating it to Goodwill and send it to them.
Oh my! So the kid never got a toy?
Well, they not expensive toys.
Right.
They bought them what they needed.
Gotcha.
But they'd rather have for Christmas and those kind of things, monies to be able to put into a savings account for their college.
Let's see what
I did that for Braden. He's got quite a good little bit of money right now because I did that. Anytime anybody gave me money for Christmas or birthday, that went into a savings account.
And you bought him anything you wanted and needed,
you buy your kids everything they want anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's part of your budgeting.
That's your budget.
And so, I'm sure there's times I wasn't able to do that. So,
I'm sure.
What you do is you take the smallest debt and you pay it off first out of your savings. And then you keep making the same payments that you were with that smallest debt, and it snowballs to the point where you're able to pay off the largest debt. I think it took me like 5 years to
pay off your largest.
7 years. I took Dave Ramsey the first time. Well, no, I took it years ago. But whenever I started this, it didn't take long at all to pay off my debt. I just paid off the smallest one, and then next before I knew it, I had them all paid off.
And it makes you feel so free to. No, we don't live extravagant at all, but it makes you feel so free.
Baby step number 3 is you need to have 25% of your income saved in case one of you has, you really should live off one income. And if in case one of you becomes disabled or is in the hospital or can't work for a long period of time, you have 25% saved up to to be able to handle you being off work for 3 or 4 months.
Right.
And so
I just told you about mine years ago, what I had to do.
right.
So
And so with that, that's the Cliff Notes version of the Financial Peace Partner. But
and it's a good one. It's a good one.
while repairing your relationship, and that's why that I said that the person who has the debt could get another job to pay it off. Maybe sell something,
Yeah.
downgrade their
Absolutely.
vehicle.
Or sell something.
Right. Have a yard sale.
Have a yard sale.
While repairing your relationship and tackling your debt will take time, there's hope on the other side. This is an opportunity, of course. Correct your marriage and give yourself a fresh chance at honesty and trust. Conflict can bring the two of you close together, though it may not feel like it right now. That's what, have you faced debt deception in your marriage? How do you and your spouse overcome it? How did you and your spouse overcome it? And we'd love to hear your stories in the comments, and we would too. Just add them to the comments below.
And personally for us, we've never dealt with that problem. We deal with other things, but we've never dealt with that problem, I know that we were going to buy a sofa, and I waited 6 months, and the sofa that I had planned fell through, and so I told Tony, I said, well, we've got to get us the sofa when Braden comes and stuff, and we have enough seating, and God let me know when, and the perfect sofa for us. So you just wait. Doesn't have to be in a rush. You don't have to be in a rush for things.
Well, and look around and shop for things.
I
See,
did,
like if
yeah.
you're needing to buy a car, you're kind of out of luck if it's around tax time.
Yeah.
Because from January to April, cars are very high. You can't find a lemon probably for under $2,500.
Cause what? Because it's tax return time.
Right, and so
Yeah.
everybody's buying.
Yeah.
Everybody's buying cars and,
Yeah, they
and,
got their
and
money.
living room furniture
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is off season. See,
It
we're
is.
getting ready. For furniture, people usually buy their furniture when they get their taxes
They do.
back too. I'm
They
sure.
do. Yeah.
And so, you were in the furniture store.
I was. Yes.
April
May is a really good time.
is
to
really
sell.
good months
Yeah.
for people, or Christmas,
Or Christmas.
December. But
Yeah.
most of the time they put things on sale then.
They do.
Later, like your recliners will be,
$2.99.
$2.99 at Big Lots.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
And they're usually $3.99, $4.99, so they give you
Right.
really a couple $100 off
right,
of them.
right, and those are called leaders. So you
Yes.
look for those
Look
things.
for the leaders.
And that was one of the things. The guy who was preceded, Dave Ramsey, he said his rule of thumb was that he would find the item, the big ticket item he was going to have to buy at 3 different places.
Yep.
But he wouldn't just do an emotional. That would weed out the emotional buy. And I think his name started with an L, but I can't.
That's a
remember.
quick buy to
can't
if you're just like,
remember.
oh, I like that, and then you
Right,
buy
right.
it. No.
So you make a comparison of at least 3 different places before you make any purchase, and then that takes out the emotion of the purchase. And then if you're a shopaholic, if that's the reason you got debt, is because you have a problem,
Right.
you have an addiction. Setting a limit like we
we
do.
have.
You can
Yeah.
spend up to this amount of money without asking, but then but then it would help to check in 3 different places before that you buy.
Now our sofa, we got for way less than half price of other places that sell Broyhill. Because
Larry-
ours is Broyhill.
It was Larry Burkett.
Larry Burkett.
I have been teaching finance to people back when Larry Burkett was the guru
Gotcha.
and not Dave Ramsey. So um, I'm dating myself.
A long time ago.
But you know, the Larry Burkett has a great book about that too. That's where, you know, he talks about, you know, don't buy a camper. You know, go and stay in a motel because you know, it's about the same price if you go and get a campsite. They're outrageous.
Or rent a camper if you want to camp. Rent one.
Go to a
It's
campground.
cheaper.
I'm sure they have a
They
camper
do.
for rent.
They do.
Or one of those
little cabins
teepees
or
that we
teepees.
stay
Yeah.
in. But then you're, you know, and a boat. Most of those things, your toys will sit around, and you won't ever use them.
That's right.
You're paying these high interest on them, and these toys never get used. And
Never
so
do.
You're better off if you want to actually do something like that, then go and pay for it at the time.
Right.
That was what one guy told me that he didn't believe in prepaying anything, but that's kind of what they mean is if you buy a camper or, you know, a 4-wheeler or any of these toys, a boat, you know, then you're kind of prepaying for your pleasure where you're better off paying as you would use it.
That's right.
You know, go to the boat dock and rent you
a pontoon.
You know,
if it tears up, it's on them, not you.
Right, because the maintenance on it is really high on these toys.
Exactly.
And we don't see that when we make those buys.
Now my brother and
for
his
example, I don't know if it was $1,400. I was talking about this tonight. Whether it was $1,400 or $1,700, I spent in cleaning the carburetors on a pontoon boat.
Yep.
Because they have like 16 different.
That's crazy.
Different things that have to be cleaned on just a 60 horsepower. I hate to see what it'd be if it was one of those 175 Evinrudes, but anyway,
right.
But,
Well, and
but you don't calculate that into the cost, the yearly maintenance you're going to have to do on all these vehicles.
No, but I was getting ready to say that another one of my friends, you know, there's just two in her household, and we were talking. She's like, it was way cheaper for them to go out to like Wendy's or Arby's and get just a sandwich a piece than to go out and buy a lot of groceries. And that's really true. Like me and Tony,
which is sad because it really shouldn't be that way because we really need to control what we eat.
We do.
That's 74% of Americans are obese.
We watched that last night.
Because of that, yeah. And so that's another nightmare. That's where that I'd rather you spend the 1/4 of your income is on food.
Good food.
Good.
Like I bought bananas, watermelon, carrots, good things like that tonight. But it costs an arm and a leg to buy good stuff.
Right.
You know, that's the reason people buy junk food.
Well, then you still didn't buy good stuff. You didn't buy organic.
Yeah, I bought organic cheese and apples. And carrots tonight.
Okay.
I actually did buy organic. So
Because I did see some processed food in there.
Yeah.
Which
one?
Greg, like his breakfast.
the breakfast things.
Things and stuff like
I only
that.
bought 2 of those so he could have just just that. But anyway, it's cheaper to eat cheapo stuff, and but you can't choose when you go out. If you're going out for whatever, you can choose better things.
Well, that's another thing that a lot of couples mess up on is they will go out and eat for lunch at work, and so you have to be careful about that budget. You can take your lunch with you; it would be a lot cheaper. It was nice. When Braden was working, Philip bought all the guys lunch. I used to do that.
Yeah.
I used to take my work crew out to eat every day. That was was their bonus for working with me. That way I can kind of controlled it. I could hurry them up back after lunch and that sort of thing.
And Subway's a great healthy place to eat too. Subway is. I really like it. But somebody said something. Let's just.
It is. I normally get hamburger and chicken sandwich without the buns and bread. Yes. that's a good idea,
Yes.
Elaine.
I don't eat a whole lot of buns and bread.
So
myself.
anyway, we were kind of talking about debt, and
Yeah.
that led us into finances,
Yeah,
and then
and food is
and
part of it.
into eating healthy, I guess. But really, your big ticket item is probably your vehicles.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
most people want. I pass up 25. There's this brand new house. He's got expensive cars and a motorhome and a boat.
Yep.
And
I know where you're
all,
talking about.
all sitting outside, and I'm like, what an idiot.
A little much. A little over the top.
Well, then I noticed, I think it had a for sale sign in the front of
It
the
did.
yard the other
Yeah.
day, didn't it?
Yep.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
We got in trouble.
Yep.
We didn't take a finance class.
Really no joke. That people do get themselves in trouble.
Yes. And and
It's
people,
sad.
Yeah, and it's sad, and but still, you don't have to be ashamed to drive an old clunker.
No.
I have all my life. So.
And I'm never ashamed of anything. I always tell Tony, I just want something that's safe for me, that I know I won't break down on the side of the road somewhere. That's all that I care about. So Dad Ball always said
that's why that you want a State Farm has roadside assistance.
Yeah.
That way, at least somebody's coming.
well,
to,
and two,
to help you.
Tony's dad always said, I always made sure that I drove a clunker but I always made sure my wife had something nice, So as long as you have one really, really good vehicle, not a new one, but one really good vehicle in the family, and that way, that your wife doesn't, don't get out somewhere and break down. And the husband, I don't want him to either, but so anyway, that was good. That is definitely a marriage couple thing.
Right, we've talked about it a few times.
Yeah, we have.
But with that, thank you, Elaine. I would say that you're the one that gave us the like.
Thank you.
Since you always do. And then comment and ask questions like Elaine gave the example of. And then you can
share.
I do have still Against All Odds pinned to the top of the Waycast.
Yes,
I think it's
that's
got 90
good.
views now.
That's a good one.
And so I would recommend that you share that one, especially if you share anything.
Because it's telling about Jesus. If
Yes.
you wonder what that's at, what it is.
And then
Hit the ding-a-ling.
yes, get
Ding, ding, ding.
notifications so you'll know when we're live,
Yeah.
so you can come on and harass us live. Love you too, Elaine. Thank you for the support.
Love you.
Then subscribe, because
Yes.
so if they hide some of our content, then you're able to see all of our content. And so with that, we want to say
Good night, until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, I'll be the same till then. And always in sorrow to part. You'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sleep tight, unless a buzzword's flight is a wish and a prayer that every dream comes true. And now to you again.
Good night. We love you.
and don't ever forget, you are truly loved. And with that, we'll say good night.
Friends, there you have our show. Hit songs and